our continuation of our Ansible training. Today we are going to be continuing in depth into playbooks. We did an introduction in our last session with playbooks. Today we are going to actually dive into what playbooks are and how to use some of the playbooks. So for our program today, we are going to reintroduce playbooks. We're going to create and run the playbooks. We are going to configure Tomcat, and then we are going to see what variables are in playbooks. This is something new that we are going to do today. We are going to take the individual variables and see how they function in playbook. So this is our program for today. So for each and every playbook that we are going to run, there certainly will be something new that you are going to be learning. So for each playbook that we are practicing, try to get what new is added to that playbook that you can learn. So we have been functioning with 2 servers, 3 servers, but today I have prepared 6 servers. I have prepared for you a total of 6 servers. So I have a controller and 6 other servers. Okay, we have 1 controller and 6 servers. So we are going to be working with a total of 7 machines. Okay, so let's begin. Let's come to your notes here. So I have set up my private IPs here. All of my private IPs are here, and then these are my public IPs, so that I can have access to them very fast. Okay, now talking about playbooks, we have run ad hoc commands. All of us here, I've heard your comments saying that ad hoc commands are difficult to run, blah blah blah, and you think playbooks are going to be easy for you to run. That is true. So let's see how easy those playbooks are for us to run. So for our first example of playbook, we remember how to run a playbook. This is what is required from us. Install Git. We want to install Git using our playbook. Okay, so we know the first thing is we make a playbooks folder. Okay, we are in a new system, so we make a playbooks folder. We move to that our playbooks folder, and then we create a playbook. When we create a playbook, then we write the playbook. Remember that you are the one that is going to be writing the playbook. In this training, we are writing the playbooks, but you will not be seeing any of these things anywhere. When you will be asked to install things in your organization or your company, you are the one to figure out how to write these playbooks. Okay, so a lot of tests will be done to you on how to write playbooks. They will ask you so many things, but don't be afraid, because a lot of playbooks are there in the internet to install a lot of things. So you just need to configure and change a bit of things from those playbooks. Okay, the idea is know how they function, know how they work. Don't try to think that you master how to write a particular playbook and then cram it. No, playbooks are available online. You can just configure them and edit them the way you want. So let's move to our controller machine. Here is our controller. We clear the machine. In our controller, Ansible has already been installed in our controller, and we have configured everything. I may give the screen for you. We've configured everything, and Ansible is already installed. So let's begin by creating the playbooks directory. mkdir playbooks. Right now we run ls, we'll see our playbooks is there. So let's move to our playbooks. And then here is where you are going to be creating your playbook. So let's create our first playbook. We give the name playbook 1, right? Now this is our first playbook that we have created, and in our first playbook that we have created, we are told that we want to install Git. That's our requirement. So the playbook name is install Git and include remote service. No, we are just going to install Git. Okay, in this playbook we are just installing Git, so let us install Git. So the host, we are installing Git in all our 6 servers. Remember that we have 6 servers, and the task is install Git. The module is the apt module. The name of what we are doing is Git, and then the status you also just know is present. Update cache. What are we doing? Are we updating cache? Yes, right? Let us update our cache. So we copy our playbook, we believe our syntax is okay. To check your syntax, we are going to check the syntax and see if our syntax is okay, please. So this is our playbook, right? We have pasted. Now, is this syntax really okay? That is the question. Is this syntax okay? Let's save and quit. Now let us check the syntax of our playbook. Now, in order to check the syntax of your playbook, you run this command: ansible playbook 1 -- syntax. Copy it. Check the syntax of our playbook. You see that there is an error, right? Did we have playbook 1? Playbook 1. Yeah. Error. The playbook 1.yaml could not be found. Okay. What is the problem with our playbook? Who can guess the problem with our playbook? Pause the video and guess what we made wrong. Obviously, you should get it right. We wrote our playbook without adding .yaml, okay, and you could have seen what should be there. So if we enter back into our playbook, let us delete the playbook. Okay, let us now create a playbook.yaml file. This is what we are supposed to create. Playbook 1.yaml. Now we copy what we need to copy, and then we paste to our playbook. Paste this, and then we save and we quit. Now let us verify our playbook. So our playbook is now very okay. When we verified here, we had a problem, and when we verify here, our playbook is okay. So with your syntax, when your syntax is wrong, you can use this command to check your syntax, whether your syntax is right or wrong. So our playbook is okay. Now let us execute our playbook. You execute by your playbook by, we know how to execute our playbook. We run ansible playbook -u ubuntu playbook 1. Remember that the playbook is .yaml. Copy the playbook and I run. So we are installing in all the machines. The 6 machines have been installed. Okay, we have 2, 4, 6. All the 6 machines have been installed. So what are we struggling to do? We are struggling to install Git. Now we are seeing yellow green color. What is the meaning of green color? We understand that green color means Git was already there, so everything the operating system came with Git already pre-installed. Okay, so let's continue. That is our first playbook of the day. We just know how to, in that playbook, our main thing was to learn how to use the checking syntax command. That is what I wanted to show you in this playbook, how to check your syntax error command. Okay, in our second example, we are going to create a user on all our managed nodes. Okay, and then we copy the password file. We're going to create a user in all our managed nodes and we'll copy the password file. Now we already know we have this playbook. Okay, so what are we going to learn new in this playbook? What we are going to learn in this particular example that we are going to run right now is, in our formal sessions, we used to, when we create an account, we will copy a particular file and then we will keep in a particular directory. Okay, in this case we are going to copy the password file, this password file, which is found in etc, and then we are going to keep in the directory Clemerance. Okay, Clemerance is the new directory, home directory that will be created. So we'll create that directory here and then we'll copy this file and then we'll paste there. Okay, so what is left to be done? We have the playbook, creation of user. We are going to create a username is Clemerance. The password of Clemerance is DevOps 100. The user ID will be 6779. We are going to create a home for Clemerance, and then we are going to copy password into user's home directory. So copy command, right? The source is etc password and the destination is Clemerance. So this is what we are going to do with this playbook. So we set our playbook, we create our new playbook 2, right? Playbook 2 dot YAML. Okay, then we copy our playbook, we paste. Everything seems okay. Now we execute our playbook, right? How do we execute our playbook? We know how to execute our playbook. You can check for the syntax of your playbook. All right, I'm going directly to execute my playbook. That is playbook 2. Now ansible playbook -u ubuntu playbook 2.yaml. That's what we have. Good. We have a yellow coloration, so we are fine. There is nothing wrong. We don't need to check for anything. If you want to check, you can check at your own private moment, but we have a yellow coloration, which means the action that we intended was successful. Okay, each time you have that yellow coloration, your action was successful. All right, now in our next playbook, what we are going to learn in our next playbook is, look up, in our formal execution, we will have to, this file like this is a file where your users are being kept. Okay, we will have to pull the file from that is, we'll fetch the file from our manage nodes, we'll bring it to the controller, and then we edit the file, and then we send it back to the controller. Okay, that's what we have been doing. So in this playbook, we are going to see how we are going to use a combination of so many commands. Here we are installing Tomcat 9, right? We are copying the Tomcat users file. The source destination is the destination from where we are copying the file, source Ubuntu new file 1, right? We are copying a new file 1, and our destination is Tomcat 9. So we are going to send a file with the user to Tomcat 9, and then at the same time we are going to change the port for Tomcat from 8080 to 9090, right? And then we are going to, that is what we are doing here, replace. We are using the replace module here, and we are replacing 8080 to 9090, and then the path to where the Tomcat server.xml, we said Tomcat manages its port access in a file that is located in this directory. Okay, so in order to do that replacement, we have to set the path to that directory. So this is the path to that directory that has been set, because you cannot just say that the Tomcat should change the port number without telling you where is it changing. So it is changing in this particular directory. That is where the command is going to search for this port and change. Okay, at the end of the day, what are we going to do? We are going to restart Tomcat. When we restart Tomcat, we are going to test directly in the command line if Tomcat is responding in all the nodes. Okay, how to test if Tomcat is responding to all the nodes? You are going to use, you are checking your URL of server 1 here. Okay, you are going to run this URL directly in your terminal. Directly in your terminal, it is going to give you a response. Okay, and we are going to see that response when we run the URL. So this playbook is pretty long, a playbook. So let's copy it, and then we go create playbook 3.yaml. We paste, we quit. Now we run execute our playbook. How do we execute our playbook? Always remember you are a user. There's a problem with our error. We are unable to read either as JSON or YAML. These are the errors expected. We have ansible playbook -u ubuntu playbook 3.yaml. What could be our error? Syntax error, including YAML. Mapping values are not allowed in this context. All right. The offending parts, the URI name, check URL. There is something that we have done here. Playbook 3 dot YAML. What are they telling us to check? The URL. Okay. So we are supposed to have this. Let's verify. Here is our URI. This one. I'm pretty sure the problem is our indentation. Let's verify and see. First two are okay. You look at this indentation. I think that is something that needed to be there. Like that. I believe so. Let's try and see. So our playbook is getting executed already. So it will install Tomcat. What will our playbook do? It will install Tomcat and test for all these connectivities. So it's going to be a pretty long playbook. So you give it some time, changes the port numbers, perform all these functions. So you have to give it some time. Playbook is being executed. Okay, we have some connectivities that were skipped. Let us see what our output is telling us. An exception occurred during task execution. To see the full trace, use -fmv. The error was if you are using a module and expect the file to exist on the remote, see the remote source option. Fatal. Okay, failed to change field. Change fields message could not find or access home Ubuntu new file. All right, look at this this command like this. We were trying to copy a file called new file. Did we have a new file in our directory? No, we did not create any new file in our directory, but we were trying to copy a file which was never created. Okay, so that failed in all our managed nodes. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to create a file in our home / Ubuntu, a file called new file 1, and then we rerun our playbook again. So let's go to our directory. go to our directory, we cd2 home Ubuntu. Now here we create a file. What's the name of our file? New file 1. New file 1. Run ls, so there is new file 1 now present. So in this new file 1, that is where you are going to put all your credentials and all whatnot. Okay, so we move now back to playbooks. And then we run which playbook? We were to run playbook playbook 3, right? Let's run playbook 3 now, and we hope that it will copy now the right file since the file is present. Failed. Let's see why it failed. Let's see the reason why our failure occurred this time around. Fatal change, false, elapsed 0, message status was -1 and not 200. Okay, request failed. Redirected, false, status -1. What did we say about a status of -1? A status of -1 means the connection is not yet established, right? Connection is refusing to go, which means as at now you cannot yet connect to your server. Connection is not yet passing. When you install Tomcat immediately, can that look at this one? This one passed, right? This one passed. Why did it pass? Some servers will come up very fast before other servers ever come up. That is why some servers will actually pass and some servers will actually fail. Okay, so when you install Tomcat, let's just check for any node. Let's take one node and we verify if Tomcat is already there. Let's take let's look for this node and we actually verify manually. Tomcat is there, everything works very well. So this status certainly was waiting for the server to actually begin. All right, so it actually functions very well. Okay, now in this other one, in this other file that we want to run, we are going to try by all possible means to install Apache, but in the index.html file we want to change the file. Okay, when you install Apache comes with its own pre-index.html. I think we understand the meaning of an index.html. It is the folder, like we have just installed Tomcat right now, and for us to see that Tomcat works, we see this thing here that says it works. Okay, that is an index.html. That's the default index.html. So for Apache, we don't want to see this type of a thing. We want to see our own writing that appears here like this. We want to see our own writing that appears here. So what are we going to do? we want to write a playbook, and then we go into the index.html and then we change the writing and we will put our own writing there. This is the writing that we are going to put there. Okay, the destination is we are going to use this directory. So if you are asked using ansible, are you able to edit a file that is existing in a remote machine, and if so, which module can you use? Okay, you are saying that yes, you are going to use the copy module. You are going to use the copy module in a playbook, and that copy module you are going to pass the command and write whatever you want to edit with a \n. Okay, and then you give the directory of the particular file that you want to edit. That can be possible using this. So that is the learning point of this particular playbook 4. Okay, so let's create the playbook 4 and see if things work as we expect. Most of the time our playbooks end with okay. So we create our playbook 4. Then we paste our playbook. So this is what we are hoping that should appear in our index.html. Okay, all right, so we execute our playbook. So Apache is also a web server like Tomcat. Okay, you can use Apache, you can use Tomcat, you can use Nginx. Those are all web servers. All right, so it depends on which web server your enterprise is going in for. You can decide to use whichever web server you want. So our index.html copied successfully. Let us just try to see in one folder how it worked. You see, this is welcome to playbook. Some of you will be wondering, I did not put a port. Why did I not put a port? Because Apache runs on port 80, and when you don't put any port, it takes 8080. Okay, so when you don't put any port, it takes the default port of the web server. So you can see this is welcome to playbooks. Okay, but if I put /1990, it would go back to Tomcat. Okay, this is Tomcat. But if I remove 1990 and I don't put anything, or I can put 80, you see it comes now but to welcome to playbooks, because 80 is a default port. I don't need to put it. Okay, so in that case we have changed what should be displayed in Apache, and we have put what we want for it to be displayed. That is the learning takeaway for that particular playbook. Okay, now we go ahead. Now, how to open URL in terminals? There's a possibility that you can open URL in terminals using what we call e-links. Okay, if we want to use e-links, you discover that e-links need to be installed. Let us first of all just run it and you see if you can have access to e-links. When you run it, you discover that e-links need to be installed. So when you run this, they'll tell you that apt install elinks. That means you should install elinks. Okay, apt install elinks. Did we write it well? Let us install it from the package I prepared. Okay, we run sudo apt get install elinks. So when elink get installed, you just tap and press OK, please. When elink gets installed, then now it is possible for you to run this command. This is the normal command for installing Google, right? For getting to Google, you run elinks and then you run the command. Let's see what happens. You see, this is the Google web page. You are behind in your terminal, but you are able to access the Google web page. Okay, so in order to quit, you press shift cure. All right. So in the same way, we can also check if our savers are actually available. Let us see if those savers are actually available from our terminal. You see, welcome to playbooks. This is happening on our terminal. So our servers are available, and we check that directly from our terminal using elinks. So that is the importance of elinks. So to quit, you press shift cure and then you exit. Okay, so that is elinks. That is what you have learned for that particular playbook. Okay, so in this particular playbook, we are technically doing the same thing. Let me see. Yeah, we are doing the same thing. Playbook for install Apache, and then we change and then we restart the service. It's the same thing. You can practice with this playbook on your own. Now let us take the reusability of our playbooks to a different whole new level. Let us take the reusability of our playbooks to a different new level. Now we are talking about variables. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that there are 3 types of variables in playbooks. There are 3 types of variables. We have the global scope variables, and then we have the host scope variables, and then we have the play scope variables. Okay, the priority of these variables is global is the highest priority, and play scope is the least priority. So how we are going to do it is we are going to study the global scope variable first, then we are going to jump and we study the play scope variable second, and then after we finish with the host scope variables. Okay, so now imagine, why is this idea of variables coming into place? Why is it coming into place? Imagine that you have a situation where, let us take this situation. You have a situation where there is somebody who is just recently recruited in your company. The person does not know how to write Ansible playbooks, but you can write an Ansible playbook and then just send to the person and tell the person that execute the playbooks using these particular commands, or execute it passing these particular values or the values that you may want. So in this case, you are going to create a template. What you are going to do is you are going to create but a template. What type of a template? A template without anything installed inside. Look at this playbook. Look at this particular playbook 5. In this playbook 5, have you seen anything installed? No, there is nothing installed. You have just simply written a playbook and said the name of the playbook is install software. Host, you are going to install the software in all your instances. The task, name, install, uninstall and update. You don't know what you are doing here. You don't know whether you are installing what, you are uninstalling what, or you are updating what. You don't know anything, but you know that this particular playbook will install an apt, or it can uninstall that apt, or it can update the cache of that particular apt. So in an apt that has 3 variables here, you can use this particular playbook. Okay, so but we do not know what type of apt we are going to be installing. You don't know what type of application that the person who is going to use the playbook is going to install. It is only the person that will know the application that he will install. So you write this particular type of a playbook. Now when you come at the place where you need to put what should be installed, this is what now you put. This is the change in it. You put quotes, double square curl brackets, and then you put a variable inside. The variable is A. Do the same thing for state. Variable is B. Do the same thing for state. Variable is C. And you create your playbook. This is a playbook that has been created. Now, how will you pass the values of this playbook? Let us first of all create a playbook. The playbook is playbook 5. Let us create a playbook 5. Okay, in our playbook 5, we copy our playbook. And we save and quit. Now, how do we execute this playbook? How shall you be able to execute this playbook? In order to execute this playbook, what you need to do is you are going to execute the playbook, and then while executing the playbook, you are going to use this additional word here, extra extra slash var. This is your word. So the interview question is, how do you pass variables to a playbook that has variables? The answer is by using extra var. Okay, how do you pass variables by using in a playbook that needs to use variables? You answer by saying that by using the var on the command line. Okay, so you run your normal playbook as we are running the playbook, but at the end of the day you will pass var, and then you say a equals git. Now you are the one that decide what is installing. B equals absent. That means you do not want git to be present. We want to uninstall git, right? Cache update. C equals no. We are not updating cache, and then we give higher privileges. Okay, so this is how you are going to pass your playbook. Now watch out. That means this playbook can be given to 2 of you in the company, but the 2 of you use the particular playbook and install 2 different applications. Why Mr. Kiba is installing git, Declan is might be uninstalling let's say Maven. Okay, so using the particular playbook, so that is reusability to a different level. So we just have a template, but we can now pass values to that template from our command line. So let us run this playbook. Our playbook is executing. Okay, it has successfully executed. So now like this, we have uninstalled Git. Git is no more installed in this machine. Okay, and we have done so by using a playbook which has particular variables. Okay, so that is the use of variables, global variables. Okay, now we can also use this particular playbook and we execute other things. Like I earlier mentioned, different people can be using the playbook and doing different things. You can see, let us see, you can still use this particular playbook and install 3. Okay, for me to test it, let it not be as if I am lying that you can use one playbook and install different things. Did we update cache? We have not yet updated our cache. And we need to -u Ubuntu. So you see, we are running 2 different commands or 2 different things for the same playbook. All right, that means one playbook now is their standard. The playbook, we are not changing anything in the playbook. The playbook is just there, but we are changing what the playbook is going to take from our command line, that is our global variables. Okay, so we go to the next. So right now it is updating the cache, that is why it is taking more time. We are going to our next playbook, which is we are entering to play scope variables. Play scope variables. Okay, now in play scope variables, what happens there? In the first playbook, we passed values directly from the command line. Okay, but in this particular playbook, what we are going to do is we are going to pass default values. That means there are default values that we are going to pass. This is a playbook to install Tomcat. Okay, now let's say in this playbook, if you just run the playbook, what will happen? Let us say uninstall Tomcat. Let's put absent. If you just run this playbook, Tomcat will be uninstalled. Okay, just running this playbook, Tomcat will be uninstalled. But you can also run the playbook and install Git, and you can also run the playbook and install Maven. But if you run the playbook without saying what the playbook should do, then the playbook is going to install or uninstall Tomcat. Okay, so let's run this playbook directly. That's playbook 7. Running this playbook, it is going to uninstall Tomcat. So this is play scope. So in play scope variable, what happens with play scope variable? With play scope variable, there are default variables that are put in the playbook itself, such that if you run the playbook without any precision, the default variables will run. But if you precise anything, that thing that you precise will then run in the place of these default variables. Okay, I hope the idea is clear. So that is our playbook. Now we have 2 ways of running this playbook. We can either run the playbook without precising anything, if we run this playbook without precising anything, what will happen? In this case, Tomcat will be uninstalled from all our machines. Tomcat will be uninstalled. Let us run the playbook. So we hopefully Tomcat is uninstalled from all our machines. Okay, and in that particular playbook, we can also use that particular playbook and maybe uninstall tree, right? Uninstall tree, because here is tree. Remember that the playbook is doing what? It is uninstalling Tomcat by default, but we can also use the playbook by uninstalling tree. Okay, see, --var is absent. Now this is to tell you that the global variables have precedence over the play scope variable. Okay, now in this case, the playbook that the values that we pass in the command line have more power than the default values. All right, so that is the play scope variables. All right, now in the host scope variable, we are going to do something. The host, remember this name, host. We have talked about global variables, we have talked about play scope variable, and then we are talking about host scope variables, right? In the host scope variable now, what we are going to do is we are going to move into our host file. This is our host file, and then we are going to group our servers into different categories. Generally in your company, you are going to have web servers, you are going to have database servers, you are going to have app servers. Okay, you're going to have different machines for different use. Some machines are used as web servers, some are used as app servers, some are used as database servers. So in your host file, you go to your host file, you are going to segregate your machines. Okay, let's go to our host file. We open our host file. Now these are our machines, so let us categorize them. In order to categorize them, what you do is you put square brackets and then you put the first one, web servers, right? And then you come down, these ones become app, these ones become app servers, and this one becomes DB servers. All right, good. We quit now. Now what have we done? We have categorized our servers into web server, app server, DB server. So we can run now a command which will affect just these two machines, and run another command which will affect only just these two machines, and run another command which will affect just these two machines. But we can also still run a command which will affect all these machines. Okay, that is host scope variables. So let us come here and see what we are talking about. So in host scope variables, the first thing we have to do is we have two types of variables within host scope variables. Variables that are going to occur in groups of machines as we have grouped them, and variables that are going to occur in one machine. Okay, so for variables that are going to occur in the groups of machines, what are we going to do? We are going to create a directory called group_var. This directory should always be called group_var. And where are we creating the directory? We must create the directory where the playbooks are located. So, and where are the playbooks located? The playbooks are located in our home directory, right? This is where we create the directory inside the place where playbooks are located. So here we make a directory that is called group_vars. Okay, now we run ls, we'll see group_vars. Here it is a directory. We'll enter now into group_vars, and there we are going to create now the name of a group which we have grouped. We grouped a group like web servers, right? I'm going to create something like web servers. Make sure that it is the same name that we have here. We have web server. What did we have in our, because you must create the same name like what you gave to your in your host file. The same name there should be created. So in order not to make a mistake, let's actually see exactly what we created there. So it is web servers. Let's copy it. Web servers, app servers, and DB servers. Remember that. So we go back to our playbooks, and then we enter to our groups, group_vars, and then there now we open web servers, and then here now in these web servers we are going to write all our variables and keep there. Look at the variables that we are going to be writing. We are going to write all our variables and keep there. Take for instance, we want to create the user clearance in all our web servers. We want to create clearance in all our web servers, right? Let's copy all these variables. These are the variables. You don't need to be passing them in your command line. Let's copy all these variables like this, and then you come and you paste in the web servers here. You quit, right? Now as you have quit, you go now to your playbooks, then you create now a playbook for that particular web servers with its variables. This is a playbook that creates the user. And the playbook host is web server. Playbook, we are in playbook number what? Playbook 8. And in that playbook We are creating web servers. Now we have given a playbook. We have given variables that can be used in that playbook, right? Right now we don't need to pass anything in the command line. Okay, you don't need to be passing anything in the command line anymore. You just need to execute the playbook directly. You don't need to pass anything again in the command line. So when you execute the playbook directly, the playbook is going to pick those variables that you have created in that file, and then it is going to execute from those files. So this will save you if you have maybe 20 different variables or 30 different variables. You will not need to be passing those variables in a playbook. You create a group, and then you paste those variables, and then you execute those variables from there. Do we have a problem here? Ansible playbook -u Ubuntu playbook 8 warning: could not match supplied host pattern, ignoring web server. So guys, I guess the problem is we had web server somewhere, and then we have web servers somewhere. Let's check. Let's go to what we created in our playbooks. Let's look at our playbooks. Enter into groups.vas and see what we created there. There we have web servers, could not match supplied host pattern, ignoring web server. So where is it taking web server from? Let's see. Let's put it here, web servers. Okay, and then we change the playbook. We change the playbook to web servers. That should be playbook 8. The playbook. Let's see. Okay, one step behind. Playbook 8 dot YAML. I've opened a different thing. Playbook .yaml. So here in the host, it is set host server, where we have host servers. Let us hope now that this works, and we run now our Ansible playbook web servers. Ansible playbook, yeah. We run this, and our commands are running now very successfully. Okay, so our commands have executed in 2 machines. It's good that we are working and falling into issues and solving the issues at the same time, because you see how to debug problems when they arise. Okay, you see how to debug them. So you must make sure that your host name that you are using in your playbook matches with the name of the folder that you created. Okay, if it doesn't match, then you have problem. All right, so that's the first playbook that we have used under host scope. So in playbook 9, we are going to run it in a single machine, in a single host. Okay, and in that single host, we are going to create another folder again, and that folder is called host_vas. Remember, just always remember that for multiple group of machines, you create group_vas. For single machine, you create host_vas. Okay, and when we go to create host_vas, what would be the name of our machine? we are creating it under our playbooks directory. You must create it under your playbooks directory, and then you move to host underscore vas, and then there now, what should be the name of the file that you want to create under host? The file should be the name of the IP of the machine that you want to create. So you must create that file as the IP of the machine that you want to create. In this case, let us take an IP like let's take an IP like this one. The first IP, your file must be the name of the IP. That means we are configuring machine number 1, server number 1 only. Okay, you paste here. Now you can create your playbook now here. You can create your playbook now here. In this particular playbook, we are trying to install a firewall. Okay, we are installing a firewall. So here we put all our variables. Variable A is firewall, variable B is present, C updating cache, yes. So we save and quit. Now in our playbook here, remember, if you do not put the right IP address here, your playbook fails. That is what we just discovered, right? So make sure you put the right IP address there. Copy the same IP address. Now we bring it there. So this is our playbook to install firewall. Playbook 10. So we open our playbook 10.yaml. Save and quit. Now we execute our playbook 10.yaml. Where are we executing the playbook? Not here, in playbooks. Make sure you execute it in playbooks and know how to troubleshoot. If you find a problem, how can you troubleshoot it? We have been going through problems and we have been troubleshooting. Okay, I think you have seen how to troubleshoot so many problems, right? So our playbook has run. So we have talked today about global scope variable, play scope variable, and host scope variable. And under host scope variable, we talked about variable in a group and variables in one machine. Okay, how to group all those machines. Okay, so we have worked with all these. So you practice all these and make sure that you master everything. And with these ones, the good thing is set program like 10 machines and configure them. When you are configuring a large number of machines, you do more practice. Okay, when you configure 10 machines and you do more practice and you do more mastery, you have more mastery of what you are doing, so much so that by the time you finish, you will really already know how to work with your commands and with your playbooks. So here we are going to end the lessons for today, and then the last session for Ansible tomorrow will be to tell you about the idea of looping. Okay, we're going to tell you about the idea of looping and the idea of handlers. Those are the last two modules that I prepared to teach you in Ansible. We're going to talk about looping and handlers in Ansible. So guys, practice, sacrifice some time and practice. Okay, hope to see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you practice. Bye bye.